So the day before Christmas, a YouTube channel by the name of HeavyDSparks, 2.6 million subscribers. They were a big pumper of established titles before my video came out. They released a video, Is Established Titles a Scam? We went to Scotland to find out, and basically in the video, they claim that they prove that Established Titles is a legit company. It's not a scam at all, guys. I was wrong. Not only me, but Legal Eagle, an actual lawyer who also made a video saying that Established Titles is a scam. He's wrong too, guys. An actual practicing lawyer is wrong, but the two Diesel brothers, they're right. They got everything right. And unfortunately, it did not go as planned for HeavyDSparks. It has been an absolute disaster for his channel. So if you actually use the extension, there's an extension on Google Chrome that will actually restore the downvotes. You can download it. It'll show you how many downvotes that a video is getting. And if you actually use it, you can go to their video and you can see that they have 36K downvotes compared to only 34K upvotes. So clearly a large percentage of their audience does not agree with their assessment that Established Titles is not a scam. Now, if you actually go to the channel and look at the comments on the video, and I'm not exaggerating this by any means, 95% of all the comments on the video are negative towards the channel. HeavyDSparks, you're wrong. You should delete this. I'm unsubscribing. I can't believe you would support this scam. Because in the video, they don't prove anything. There is no proof given whatsoever to deny any of the claims I made in my video or Legal Eagle made in his video. It's an absolute train wreck for this channel. So we're going to go over that. Now, before we go over that, I did want to say a few things. Some people saying you're absolutely milking this Established Titles thing. And to be honest with you, I really don't want to talk about this company anymore either. But I've received over 100 comments of people saying you got to respond to Established Titles, HeavyDSparks video on Established Titles. So that's primarily why I'm making this video. And another thing is that a few of HeavyDSparks, some of their people have come over and left comments saying HeavyDSparks proved it's legit. Established Titles is going to sue you now. And I think that's absolutely laughable. So later in the video, I'll actually give my opinion on if I think I'm actually going to get sued. I haven't been sued yet by anyone at this point, but I will give my opinion on if I think anything is going to happen regarding a lawsuit between me and Established Titles. I'll give that later in the video as well. But let's go ahead and break down HeavyDSparks and this whole video about Established Titles. Now, if you're unfamiliar with HeavyDSparks, they actually had a show, I believe, on the Discovery Channel for a number of years. It's HeavyDSparks and Diesel Dave. Those are the two main guys. HeavyDSparks, this is his channel. Now, these guys are... They've been involved in a lot of controversies over the years, so it's really no surprise to me that they would actually double down and actually continue to back Established Titles. So in 2016, they were actually sued by a Utah advocacy group for modifying vehicles to create black smoke from the exhaust system, which the group characterized as one of the most toxic type of pollutions ever. So they were illegally modifying their vehicles to create black smoke. At least that's what the lawsuit alleges. Now, from there, it actually gets worse because HeavyDSparks is actually good friends. He's actually friends with Trevor Milton. Now, if you don't know who Trevor Milton is, he was the CEO and con artist of the company called Nikola Motors. Nikola Motors came out a few years ago. They said they were going to be releasing, I think it was a hydrogen semi-truck that was going to revolutionize. It wasn't electric, it was hydrogen. And it later came out, I did a video on this. Trevor Milton actually was lying to people. The vehicle that they showed at an event wasn't actually a functioning vehicle. They took it up a hill with a tow truck and then just let it roll down a hill. And Trevor Milton actually got sued. And Heavy D was actually a big promoter of the Nikola company. He was actually promoting their Badger, their truck, which is another product they were working on. But it's this guy was promoting a company that later turned out to have a CEO that was very, very fraudulent. Now, HeavyDSparks actually went on a podcast and actually talked about his connection to Trevor Milton and actually doubled down after Trevor Milton was sued and actually doubled down and tried to defend his friend, saying he believed the allegations against Trevor Milton were not true.
A buddy of mine started a company called Nikola Motors. Nikola was basically an electric semi-truck company, and then he came to me in 2020 and said, hey, I want to release a pickup truck. Let's take it to the market. And then that same year, they were going public. They accused him of like blatant scam and this and all these terrible things, which I disagree with. Trevor's been under investigation for the last 2 years. His trial finally happened beginning of October. Basically, the accusations were that Trevor and the company were making false statements about how far advanced the technology was. And there's all sorts of things you can see online about what he said and what he didn't say. In my opinion, it was a CEO trying to rally the troops and get people excited about the company. But
now, what's really funny is that just a few weeks after HeavyDSparks went on defending his friend Trevor Milton, saying, I don't think he was actually wrong. I don't think he did anything wrong. Trevor Milton was actually convicted on 3 counts of securities fraud. Yeah, he's in big trouble now. He's in very, very big trouble. So this guy is convicted at this point. Trevor Milton, not HeavyDSparks. So this guy, HeavyDSparks, doubled down defending Trevor Milton, and now he's doubled down defending established titles. This guy doesn't seem to ever back away from a product, even when it's confirmed that, it's a scam. Established titles is a scam. He just continues to actually double down on it. Now, the video they released is actually 24 minutes long. We're going to respond to some of the issues with the video. And I do have to say the good majority of the video, I'm going to estimate about 70% of it, is them just traveling to Scotland and then just going to trying to find the plot of land. Like, they don't put anything in the video relating to like investigating any of my claims whatsoever. And the thing is, they could have actually gone to Scotland and talked to like the Lord Lyons, the people in Scotland who actually give out the titles. They could have talked to like a real estate agent in Scotland. They could have talked to like a lawyer in Scotland and be like, hey, is established titles legit? Are they actually giving out titles? Can they actually be selling you this land? They did not do any of that. And the real reason they didn't do any of that is because if they had talked to any people of any legitimacy in Scotland, they would have agreed with me saying, established titles is a scam. So of course they left all of that out of the video. They actually only talked to 2 people in Scotland in the video, which we'll get into. But before we get into that, I want to show this clip, and this clip is very important. This clip shows exactly why HeavyDSparks actually made this video, so pay very close attention to it.
The beauty of this is we're actually going to our plots that we purchased from established titles in Scotland to show you what they look like. This is not like a big sponsored video where we're like, hey, they paid us to say good things about the company. No. In fact, there's kind of a tricky situation there that we found the best of both worlds. You see, we've been running ads for established titles and they paid for a bunch of ads up front. Well, when this whole fiasco hit, everybody kind of got together, us, them, and we're like, hey, we don't really feel comfortable running any more ads until we figure out what's going on. But since they had already paid us for some ads, we're able to use that money to basically fund this trip to come over here and bring you guys the truth. If any of the things that are being said about established titles online are true, then we wouldn't be doing business with them, and we won't continue to do business with them. That's why we're going on this mission.
Okay, so right there, that's basically the clip that breaks down the entire video. They say they were paid up front by established titles. Now, I don't know how much they were paid, but based on other channels of similar sizes, they were probably paid hundreds of thousands of dollars a month for their sponsorships of established titles on their channel. They say established titles paid up front, so they'd already been made, they'd already gotten the money, and then they decided not to run the ads because of the backlash of my video and other people's videos as well. So they had already been paid, and my assumption, and again, it's just my assumption here, established titles most likely wanted the money back from them because they weren't going to run ads on their channel. So they're like, we want our money back. And they decided, hey, what if we do a PR for you where we go to Scotland and prove you're legit? What if we do that instead and we get to keep the money? And established titles like, oh, that sounds like a great idea. Let's do that instead. So they're using money. While they weren't paid directly for this video, they are using money from the established titles that they were already paid to actually do basically this PR fluff piece for established titles. So that's basically the whole what this video is. It's an ad for established titles because they don't want to give back the money that they were already paid to do for the sponsor. Now, one thing I want to add here is that I was actually contacted by several YouTubers who had been running ads for established titles, and they have since gone back and used the YouTube editor tool to delete the ad portion from their videos. And what I found out is that established titles is actually going after those creators and trying to get the money back. So anyone that deleted the ads, because in the contract they're supposed to leave it up, anyone who deleted the ads, they're trying to get the money back, established titles, from those creators, which in my opinion is a terrible thing to do. Established titles got caught. They got caught with their pants down. They've changed their website, and they've since changed their website again. They now have the funniest gift of 2022 on all of their titles, right? they wouldn't need to do that. If they had already, put all the information there, it was already very accurate to begin with, they wouldn't have to heavily alter their site to now make it even more clear that it's just a joke. So they got caught with their pants down, but now they're going after creators and trying to get the money back. So that basically explains what this entire video actually it is. They got money, they don't want to pay it back to established titles, so they're like, we'll do this PR where we fly to Scotland and prove you're legit. Now, what's really funny about this video is that basically everything goes wrong in this trip. They say both the HeavyDSparks and the Muscle, both by their own admission, say that they're not very smart in the video, which I'll show clips of in just a second. They actually get on the wrong train. So they go to the wrong place, get on the wrong train, and then they eventually get on the correct train, and then that train breaks down. So this video was an absolute disaster for them, not just because they're defending established titles, but it seems the world, God, whatever you believe in, is against them and trying to basically throw them under the bus because they're defending a scam at this point.
And also, we're trying to get...
You're not acting very smart.
I don't know if she was talking to me, but she's probably right. It is not... Okay, well,
Right here.
how do you do it?
Right.
I'm just gonna go right through that side then.
Pink line. Thank you so
We buy
much.
tickets right there at the gate.
Yeah, by the gate, yeah.
And we just get off at this next stop, right? It only has one stop.
This is the only stop.
Sorry, we're stupid Americans.
We got first class in the absolute wrong direction, so now we get to go to another train station. The train broke. It got us within about 2 hours of Scotland, and the captain of the train, the conductor, whatever his position is, kept on saying something's deteriorating over and over and over.
Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, they basically don't talk to anyone in Scotland of any legal standing. They only talk to two people. They talk to Kat, the founder of Established Titles, and then they talk to this one random dude on the train on the way to their actual plot of land. What's really interesting about this exchange with this guy on the bus is they actually screw up, right? So they're trying to prove that everyone knows that you don't actually get a Lord or Lady title. That's just a gimmick. Everyone knew that, right? So they're talking to this guy explaining this, and then the one guy, I think his name's the Muscle, right? He then goes, oh, but your grandma was actually a lady, right? So they don't even understand at all what they're talking about. Take a look.
The souvenir plots that are sold in Scotland, where people from all over the world can become a laird because they own a 1 square feet of land. Yeah, exactly. That's a thing, right?
Yeah, my grandmother has one. Yeah.
Really?
Oh,
so
very
she's
cool.
a
lord. You can be
Yeah,
male,
exactly.
You can be male or female and be a lord.
Yeah, you gifted. Well, you'd be a lady.
Lady, yeah.
So you say your grandma?
Yeah. Well, my mother-in-law.
Where's she from?
Edinburgh. She's passed away now, but she was given one as a gift. Yeah. So you get a certificate to say that you own a piece of land. You don't own a piece of land.
Yeah, you knew it was a novelty.
Yeah.
You knew it was a souvenir or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
You didn't expect. She didn't think that she owned
No,
one.
she was never going to pitch up there and live there.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
But she
Interesting.
was a lady.
Yeah.
She was a lady. Yeah.
So the guy, again, I think his name's the Muscle, does not understand this conversation at all. He has no clue what is happening. The other guy is explaining, the other guy's talking to the old guy. You're not actually a lord and lady, right? And he's like, yeah, you're not a lord and lady. The Muscle goes, but she was a lady, right? Nothing makes any sense in this video at all. It really is the worst attempt at a PR, type of cover-up I have ever seen on YouTube ever. Okay, now like I said, the majority of the video is just them traveling, getting lost, all this fun stuff. They don't actually discuss anything about is Established Titles real or not. And then towards the end of the video, they actually get to their plot of land that they bought, and Dave or HeavyDSparks stands on the plot of land and said, "Looks, guys, it's legit. See, I'm standing on the land. It's legit." So let's take a look at that.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I can confirm that I am currently on my plot here in Aberdeenshire, Scotland. This piece of land right here is mine. And when I say mine, it's not legally mine like I already told you. I can't go down and say, oh, I'm ready to build my house.
Okay, so this is the dumbest thing I have ever seen in my life right here. Now, nowhere in my video, nowhere in Legal Eagle's video, nowhere in anyone's video, I think, that talked about Established Titles being a scam, did anyone ever claim that the land didn't exist. I have never said Established Titles they're using made up fake land. It's not actually there. So the fact that you went and stood on it does not prove anything. My claim was that they don't actually sell you land, which is true. This guy actually says it in the video. They don't actually sell you land. It's not, they're real. And you don't actually become a lord and lady, despite telling people in their ads multiple times, which I showed their Facebook ad, where they say that you legally become a lord and lady if you buy their plot of land. All of that, they do not disprove any of those claims at all. His only argument is that he went to Scotland and stood on the piece of land that he bought from established titles, so now that proves that they are a legit company. This is the dumbest argument I have ever seen on the internet, ever. Okay, so that's basically everything there is with their video that they show. They don't show a lot. Like I said, their only claim is that they go to the land, they stand on it, so because they could stand on it, it's legit. They later talk to Kat, the founder of Established Title Scam, and she's like, oh yeah, we it's all here. You can see the land. It's real, guys. It's the dumbest video I've ever seen. I got to be honest with you. Now, from there, like I said, I actually want to talk about a potential lawsuit. Since this video came out, I guess some of their subscribers have been leaving comments on my video saying they proved Established Titles legit. Established Titles is going to sue you now. So I want to break that down. Now, like I said, Established Titles has not contacted me at all. Generally, if a company or an individual wants a YouTuber or anyone to take down content that they feel is defamatory, they'll usually send a cease and desist letter first. Now, CoffeeZilla, this is a blatant shout out for his Patreon. In his Patreon, he did a Q&A, and he basically explained that he's received, I don't know how many, like over a dozen cease and desist. He gets these all the time from people who don't like what they say about him. They send him cease and desist saying, take down the video, or we could potentially, go after you legally. We could sue you. And not one of those cease and desist has ever gone to trial, because that's generally what a cease and desist is. They're trying to, just trying to intimidate you into taking down the video. Now, Established Titles has not even sent me a cease and desist. They have not contacted me at all. They have made no communication with me. Now, is it possible that they could actually sue me without sending me a cease and desist? Yes, I suppose that's possible, but I'm actually not too worried about it. Now, obviously, no one wants to get sued. I don't want to get sued, but there's three main reasons why I'm not too concerned about it. The first main reason is that the video I put out isn't really defamatory, because everything I said, like I prove. I prove that they're not giving you actual land. The Lord and Lady titles, you don't actually get that. And they don't actually refute any of those claims that I made, right? And I actually said they didn't show enough proof to showing that the trees, the actual trees that they had planted, they didn't have enough evidence of that on their website. And then they later changed their website. They've made many alterations to their website, and that goes against the claim that they've made, that they've been very forthcoming and truthful about what they are from the beginning, the multiple edits to their website. So if this were ever to go to trial, I have all this evidence showing that they're massively changing their website to try and make it exceedingly clear that this is just a gag gift, when before that wasn't actually the case. Now, the second main issue that I'm not really too concerned about a lawsuit is I actually have something called media liability insurance. Now, if you don't know what this is, it's a pretty niche insurance. It basically protects individuals or media companies. I pay an insurance company, much like if you have car, you pay car insurance. I pay this company, it's about $50 a month. And what happens is, if I'm ever sued for defamation, I get a lawyer, and then the insurance company will pay all the lawyer fees. So the insurance company pays all the fees regarding a defamation case, and if I were somehow to lose, which I wouldn't lose this case against Established Titles, but if I were to lose a case against Established Titles, the insurance company pays out, I'm not going to say exactly how much my total cap is, but they can wouldn't go to my insurance company. They would be the one to actually pay all of that. Now, if I were to lose a lawsuit, obviously my insurance premiums would go much higher the next year. But yeah, like a company, an individual, they can't try and get me to back down because they have way more money than me, because I'm just paying an insurance company that will then pay my lawyer. Now, the third issue I want to bring up is that I actually live in the state of California, and yes, I know California gets a lot of things wrong. I'm not going to defend that at all. But one thing California actually does very right is they actually have excellent anti-SLAPP laws. Now, SLAPP lawsuits are basically just a company or an individual who has a bunch of money. They're trying to intimidate someone. They don't have like a real good lawsuit, but they're filing a lawsuit against someone because they have more money, and they just want to get that person to be silenced, right? Now, anti-SLAPP laws, I'll actually read it so I get it 100% correct. Anti-SLAPP laws provide defendants a way to quickly dismiss meritless lawsuits known as SLAPPs, or strategic lawsuits against public participation, filed against them for exercising speech, press, assembly, petition, or associate rights. Now, basically what that means, if someone files a SLAPP lawsuit against me that doesn't really have any merit, I can quickly take this to a judge. A judge will look at it. If he doesn't think there's any merit to the case, he will actually dismiss the case before it even goes to trial. Now, in other states that don't have SLAPP lawsuits, these trials, even if there's like no merit to them, they can go to trial. They can take years. They can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to defend against. So the anti-SLAPP laws that California has actually are excellent. They protect me very well going up against a case that has no merit. I can usually get this case thrown out with very little money up front and very quickly. So those are the three main reasons I'm not too worried about a lawsuit. Obviously, no one wants to get sued. Now, one thing I want to add, there's another creator on YouTube who basically does the same thing, exposing gurus. He was actually sued, and he said that he had to spend about $200,000 in lawyer fees to defend themselves. And obviously, I don't want any YouTuber to be sued. I know a lot of people don't know about media liability insurance. I've done a bunch of research on it, so if there are any other creators watching, my email is below, and I'd be happy to share the information, because I want every YouTuber to have this support, this insurance, to actually cover them, so that they can't actually be intimidated by these terrible companies like Established Titles. Not that they have sued me yet, but any of these companies that are trying to get to silence a creator, I want to help these creators so that they're not actually being taken down by these companies. But there you go. That's my opinion on the HeavyDSparks Established Titles video, where they don't prove anything at all, and they get more dislikes on their videos than upvotes. This is one of the probably worst PR disasters HeavyDSparks has ever been through. Probably even worse than being associated with Nicola and Trevor Milton. But I'd love to hear your opinion below. What do you think about HeavyDSparks? What do you think about their video where they prove that Established Titles is legit? Let me know in the comments below.